Under the Moonlit Banyan. Chapter 1, The Moonlit Encounter. In the heart of the Chola Empire, nestled within the grand walls of Tanjore, a sacred banyan tree stood as a silent witness to centuries of history. Its sprawling branches and thick canopy provided shelter and solace to those seeking refuge from the world. On this particular night, the tree's ancient roots intertwined with destiny itself. Aadhira, a noblewoman of exceptional beauty and intelligence, wandered through the palace gardens under the soft glow of the full moon. She was drawn to the banyan tree, as if by an invisible force. Her heart raced with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Aadhira had always been a free spirit, yearning for adventure beyond the confines of her noble upbringing. As she approached the banyan tree, she noticed a figure standing in the shadows. Her breath caught in her throat as she realized it was a man. Athavan, a skilled warrior from a rival kingdom, had infiltrated the Chola Empire with a mission. He was on a quest for information, but fate had other plans for him. Their eyes met, and in that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. Aadhira knew she should be cautious, but her curiosity got the better of her. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. "I am Athavan," he replied, stepping out of the shadows. "And you must be Aadhira." She nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. "What brings you here, Athavan? You do not belong in these gardens." Athavan hesitated, then decided to trust her. "I am here on a mission for my people. But tonight, I have found something far more precious than information." Aadhira's eyes widened as she realized the depth of his words. "You should leave before you are discovered," she urged, her voice filled with concern. Athavan took a step closer, his gaze intense. "I cannot leave now, not without knowing you better. There is something about you, Aadhira, that draws me in." The air between them seemed to crackle with electricity. Despite the danger, Aadhira felt an undeniable pull towards Athavan. She knew their encounter was forbidden, but the allure of the unknown was too powerful to resist. As the moonlight bathed them in its silvery glow, Aadhira and Athavan shared a moment of quiet connection beneath the sacred banyan tree. It was a night that would forever change the course of their lives, setting in motion a love story that would defy the boundaries of their worlds. Chapter 2, Unlikely Allies. As dawn broke over the Chola Empire, Aadhira and Athavan couldn't stop thinking about their moonlit encounter. For Aadhira, it was the first time her heart had felt so alive, while Athavan was captivated by her courage and grace. Their connection had sparked a flame that neither could ignore. The palace grounds buzzed with activity as the royal court prepared for the day's events. Aadhira found herself preoccupied with thoughts of Athavan, and she couldn't shake the feeling that their paths were destined to cross again. Little did she know, fate was already weaving its threads. Later that day, Aadhira's father, a high-ranking nobleman, summoned her to a private chamber. "Aadhira, there is a matter of great importance that requires your attention," he said, his tone grave. Aadhira's heart sank as she listened to her father's words. He spoke of increasing tensions between the Chola Empire and the rival kingdom. Spies and infiltrators were suspected to be among them, and the court was on high alert. "You must be vigilant, my daughter. Trust no one," he warned. Determined to help her family and protect Athavan, Aadhira decided to use her wits to navigate the treacherous waters of palace politics. She kept her ears open for any whispers or clues that could lead to Athavan's safety. That evening, as she wandered through the palace gardens, she felt a familiar presence. Athavan emerged from the shadows, his eyes scanning the area for any signs of danger. "Aadhira," he whispered, "we need to talk." She led him to a secluded corner of the garden, where they could speak without fear of being overheard. "Athavan, you must be careful. The palace is on high alert. They suspect spies among us," she said, her voice trembling with worry. Athavan nodded, his expression serious. "I know the risks, but I cannot leave just yet. There is something I must find," something that could change the course of our kingdoms. Aadhira's curiosity was piqued. What is it that you seek? Athavan hesitated, then decided to trust her. There is an ancient scroll hidden within the palace. It contains secrets that could bring peace to our lands, or plunge us into deeper conflict. I need your help to find it. Aadhira's mind raced as she weighed the risks. Helping Athavan meant betraying her family and her people, but she couldn't ignore the growing bond between them. I'll help you, she said resolutely, but we must be careful. Their alliance was formed, and Aadhira and Athavan began their clandestine search for the hidden scroll. As they navigated the intricate web of palace politics and danger, their connection deepened. The spark of romance that had ignited under the moonlit banyan tree now burned brighter, forging a bond that would be tested by the trials ahead. Chapter 3: The Dance of Deception. Days turned into weeks as Aadhira and Athavan continued their secret search for the ancient scroll. Their nightly rendezvous under the banyan tree had become a cherished ritual, a moment of solace amidst the chaos of palace life. Each encounter strengthened their bond, and the line between duty and desire blurred further. Athavan, disguised as a humble palace servant, had managed to blend into the court's daily routine. His keen observation skills and quick wit kept him one step ahead of those who might uncover his true identity. Aadhira, on the other hand, was forced to navigate the complex social dynamics of the noble court, all the while hiding her growing affection for Athavan. One evening, as Aadhira prepared for a grand banquet hosted by her family, she felt a pang of anxiety. Her father had invited several prominent nobles, including suitors vying for her hand in marriage. The thought of being forced into an arranged marriage weighed heavily on her mind, but she knew she had to play her part to maintain the faade. As the banquet commenced, Aadhira's eyes scanned the opulent hall for any sign of Athavan. Her heart skipped a beat when she spotted him, dressed in servant's attire, discreetly moving among the guests. Their eyes met briefly, and Athavan gave her a subtle nod of reassurance. Throughout the evening, Aadhira gracefully engaged in conversation with the nobles, all the while feeling the weight of her secret. She danced with suitors, her mind drifting to Athavan with each step. The dance of deception was exhausting, but she knew it was necessary to protect their mission and their love. Meanwhile, Athavan used the banquet as an opportunity to gather information. He eavesdropped on conversations, carefully noting any mention of the hidden scroll or suspicious activities. He knew that time was running out, and they needed to find the scroll before their enemies did. As the night drew to a close, Aadhira excused herself from the banquet and slipped away to the garden. Athavan followed, ensuring they were not seen. They met under the banyan tree, the moonlight casting a gentle glow on their faces. Aadhira, we must act quickly, Athavan whispered, his voice filled with urgency. I overheard a conversation tonight. Someone else is searching for the scroll, and they are closing in on it. Aadhira's eyes widened with concern. We cannot let them find it. What do we do? Athavan took her hand, his grip firm and reassuring. Tomorrow night, we will search the old library. It is our best chance. But we must be cautious, we cannot afford any mistakes. Aadhira nodded, determination etched on her face. I trust you, Athavan. We will find the scroll and protect our people. As they parted ways, Aadhira's heart swelled with a mix of fear and hope. She knew the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but she was willing to face it, driven by her love for Athavan and her desire for a better future. Chapter 4: The Hidden Scroll. The following night, under the cover of darkness, Aadhira and Athavan made their way to the palace's old library. The ancient structure, filled with countless scrolls and manuscripts, was seldom visited and provided the perfect hiding place for the elusive document they sought. The air was thick with the scent of parchment and ink, and the flickering torchlight cast eerie shadows on the walls. Aadhira led Athavan through the maze of shelves, her heart pounding with anticipation. We must be quick, she whispered, her voice barely audible. If anyone finds us here, we will be in grave danger. Athavan nodded, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of movement. "I'll start searching this side," he said, pointing to a section of shelves. "You take the other." They worked in silence, carefully examining each scroll and manuscript they came across. Time seemed to stand still as they delved deeper into the library's secrets. Aadhira's fingers brushed against the ancient texts, her mind racing with thoughts of the prophecy and the future of their kingdoms. As the hours passed, Aadhira grew increasingly frustrated. "It must be here somewhere," she muttered under her breath, her eyes darting from shelf to shelf. Just as she was about to give up hope, a glimmer of gold caught her eye. Tucked away in a dusty corner was a scroll bound with a delicate golden ribbon. "Athavan, I think I've found it," she called out softly, her voice trembling with excitement. Athavan rushed over, his heart racing. He took the scroll from her hands and carefully untied the ribbon, unrolling the ancient parchment. The scroll contained intricate illustrations and ancient script, revealing secrets of both the Chola Empire and Athavan's kingdom. As they read through the document, they realized the gravity of its contents. The prophecy spoke of a union between two great kingdoms, a union that would bring peace and prosperity to the land. It also hinted at a hidden treasure, a source of immense power that could change the fate of their people. "We must keep this safe," Athavan said, his voice filled with determination. "This scroll holds the key to our future." Aadhira nodded, her eyes shining with hope. "We will protect it, no matter the cost." Their moment of triumph was short-lived, however, as the sound of footsteps echoed through the library. Aadhira and Athavan quickly hid the scroll and pressed themselves against the wall, holding their breath. A group of palace guards entered the room, their torches casting a harsh light on the ancient texts. "We must be careful," one of the guards muttered. "The king suspects there are spies among us. We cannot let our guard down." Aadhira's heart raced as the guards continued their search. She felt Athavan's hand tighten around hers, a silent promise of protection and support. As the guards moved further into the library, Aadhira and Athavan seized the opportunity to slip out, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. Once they were safely back in the garden, Aadhira and Athavan took a moment to catch their breath. "We did it," Aadhira whispered, a smile spreading across her face. "We found the scroll." Athavan nodded, his eyes filled with a mix of relief and determination. "This is only the beginning, Aadhira. We have a long journey ahead of us, but together, we can overcome any obstacle." Chapter 5, Forbidden Affection. As days turned into weeks, Aadhira and Athavan's clandestine meetings under the banyan tree became the highlight of their nights. The danger of being discovered only heightened the intensity of their emotions, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Despite the constant threat of exposure, Aadhira and Athavan continued their search for answers within the ancient scroll. They spent countless hours deciphering the intricate illustrations and ancient script, uncovering secrets about their kingdoms and the prophecy that linked their fates. The more they learned, the more determined they became to bring about the union foretold in the scroll. One evening, as they sat together under the banyan tree, Athavan reached for Aadhira's hand. "Aadhira, I cannot imagine my life without you," he said softly, his voice filled with emotion. "Our love may be forbidden, but it is the most real thing I have ever known." Aadhira's heart swelled with affection as she gazed into Athavan's eyes. "I feel the same way, Athavan. No matter what happens, we must hold on to this love. It is our guiding light in these dark times." As they shared a tender kiss under the moonlit banyan tree, their love blossomed amidst the shadows of political intrigue and danger. They knew that their relationship would be tested, but they were willing to face any obstacle for the chance to be together. Meanwhile, suspicions began to arise within the palace. Whispers of spies and traitors circulated among the courtiers, and tensions escalated. Aadhira's family, concerned for her safety, tightened their watch over her, making it increasingly difficult for her to meet Athavan. One night, as Aadhira prepared to slip away to the garden, her younger brother, Kumar, confronted her. Aadhira, where do you go every night? He asked, his eyes filled with curiosity and concern. You have been acting strangely, and I fear for your safety. Aadhira hesitated, knowing that revealing the truth could put both her and Athavan in grave danger. Kumar, you must trust me, she said gently. I cannot explain everything now, but know that I am doing what I believe is right for our people. Kumar frowned, but he nodded reluctantly. I trust you, sister. Just promise me you will be careful. Aadhira embraced her brother, grateful for his support. I promise, Kumar. Thank you. As Aadhira made her way to the banyan tree that night, she felt a renewed sense of urgency. She knew that their time was running out and that they had to act quickly. When she met Athavan, she shared her concerns with him. We must find a way to protect the scroll and fulfill the prophecy before it is too late, she said, her voice filled with determination. Our love may be forbidden, but it is also our greatest strength. Athavan nodded, his resolve unwavering. We will find a way, Aadhira. Together, we can overcome any obstacle. Chapter 6, The Betrayal. The growing tension in the palace weighed heavily on Aadhira and Athavan. Their clandestine meetings were becoming riskier, and the pressure to act was mounting. They knew that they had to protect the ancient scroll at all costs, but the constant threat of discovery loomed over them. One night, as Aadhira made her way to the banyan tree, she sensed that something was amiss. The air felt charged with a strange energy, and the usual calm of the garden was replaced by an eerie stillness. When she reached the tree, Athavan was already there, his expression grave. Aadhira, we have a problem, he said, his voice laced with urgency. Someone has betrayed us. They know about the scroll and our meetings. Aadhira's heart sank. Who could have done this? She asked, her mind racing with possibilities. I don't know, Athavan replied, frustration evident in his eyes. But we must act quickly. If we are discovered, everything we have worked for will be lost. Their conversation was abruptly interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps. A group of palace guards emerged from the shadows, their torches casting a harsh light on the garden. Aadhira and Athavan exchanged a quick glance, knowing that they had to escape. Run! Athavan whispered, taking Aadhira's hand and leading her through the dense foliage. The guards shouted and gave chase, but Aadhira and Athavan's familiarity with the garden gave them a slight advantage. As they fled, Aadhira's thoughts raced. Who had betrayed them? Could it be someone close to her, someone she trusted? The realization that their secret was no longer safe sent a shiver down her spine. They managed to evade the guards and find temporary refuge in an abandoned pavilion on the outskirts of the palace grounds. As they caught their breath, Athavan looked at Aadhira with a mix of determination and concern. We can't stay here. We need to find a safer place to hide the scroll and plan our next move. Aadhira nodded, her resolve unwavering. I know a place, she said, her voice steady. There is a hidden chamber beneath the temple, a place where no one would think to look. We can hide the scroll there and regroup. Athavan agreed, and they set off under the cover of darkness, making their way to the ancient temple. The journey was fraught with danger, but their shared determination and growing love for each other kept them going. When they reached the temple, Aadhira led Athavan to the hidden chamber, a small room concealed behind an ornate statue. They carefully placed the scroll in a secure alcove and covered their tracks, ensuring that no one would find it. As they sat together in the dimly lit chamber, Aadhira couldn't help but feel a sense of betrayal and sadness. Whoever did this, they wanted to destroy us, she said softly, her voice tinged with sorrow. Athavan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We will find out who betrayed us, Aadhira. But for now, we must stay strong and continue our mission. We cannot let them win. Aadhira nodded, drawing strength from Athavan's words. Together, we will overcome this, she said, her eyes filled with determination. And so, under the shadow of betrayal, Aadhira and Athavan's love continued to flourish. Their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, driven by their unwavering commitment to each other and their shared vision of a brighter future. Chapter 7, Escape Plan. Aadhira and Athavan spent the next few days in hiding, laying low within the hidden chamber beneath the temple. Their thoughts were consumed by the betrayal and the need to protect the ancient scroll. They knew that their enemies were closing in, and they had to act quickly to secure their future. One evening, as they discussed their next move, Aadhira's face lit up with a sudden idea. "We need a plan to escape the palace and find allies who can help us. My brother Kumar might be able to assist us," she suggested. Athavan considered her words, recognizing the importance of having trustworthy allies. "If we can trust him, then we must involve him in our plan," he agreed. Aadhira nodded and made her way to the palace, her heart pounding with anticipation. She found Kumar in his chambers, and after ensuring they were alone, she shared the details of their situation with him. "Kumar, Athavan, and I need your help," she said, her voice earnest. "We have uncovered a prophecy that could bring peace to our kingdoms, but there are those who seek to destroy us. We need to escape the palace and find a safe place to regroup." Kumar listened intently, his expression a mix of concern and determination. "I trust you, Aadhira. I will do whatever it takes to help you and Athavan," he said firmly. With Kumar's assistance, Aadhira and Athavan devised a daring escape plan. They would use the cover of night to leave the palace and make their way to a remote village where loyal friends could provide refuge. The night of the escape, Aadhira and Athavan prepared themselves for the journey ahead. They packed the ancient scroll and a few essential items, knowing that they had to travel light to avoid detection. Kumar arranged for a discreet exit from the palace grounds and secured horses for their journey. As the moon rose high in the sky, Aadhira, Athavan, and Kumar made their way through the palace corridors, careful to avoid the guards. They reached the secret exit and slipped out into the night, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The journey was fraught with danger, but Aadhira and Athavan's bond grew stronger with each step. They faced numerous obstacles, including treacherous terrain and the constant threat of pursuit, but their love and determination kept them going. After several days of travel, they finally reached the remote village where their friends awaited them. The village was nestled in a lush valley, far from the prying eyes of the palace. Aadhira and Athavan were greeted with warmth and hospitality, and for the first time in weeks, they felt a sense of relief. As they settled into their temporary refuge, Aadhira and Athavan took a moment to reflect on their journey. They knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together, driven by their love and their shared vision of a brighter future. "We have come this far, Athavan," Aadhira said, her voice filled with determination. "We will not let anything stand in our way." Athavan nodded, his eyes filled with unwavering resolve. "Together, we will overcome any obstacle," he said, taking her hand in his. "Our love is our greatest strength." And so, under the moonlit skies of the remote village, Aadhira and Athavan's love continued to flourish. Their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by their unwavering commitment to each other and their shared destiny. Chapter 8, The Journey to Freedom. In the remote village, Aadhira and Athavan found a sense of peace that had eluded them for so long. Their friends, loyal and supportive, provided them with the resources and protection they needed to regroup and plan their next steps. However, they knew that their journey was far from over. Aadhira and Athavan spent their days training and preparing for the challenges ahead. They honed their skills, both in combat and strategy, knowing that their enemies would not rest until the prophecy was thwarted. Each night, under the moonlit sky, they would sit by the village's sacred banyan tree, drawing strength from their love and the bond they shared. One evening, as they discussed their plans, Aadhira noticed a sense of urgency in Athavan's eyes. "We cannot stay here forever," he said, his voice resolute. "We must find the hidden treasure mentioned in the scroll." It is the key to fulfilling the prophecy and bringing peace to our kingdoms. Aadhira nodded, her determination matching his. But where do we begin our search? The scroll is vague about the treasure's location. Athavan unrolled the ancient scroll and pointed to a series of cryptic symbols and maps. I believe these markings hold the clues we need. We must decipher them and embark on our journey to find the treasure. With the help of their friends, Aadhira and Athavan spent hours studying the scroll, piecing together the puzzle hidden within its ancient script. Their efforts paid off when they finally uncovered a series of coordinates that pointed to a distant land, far from the reach of their enemies. The next morning, they set out on their journey, leaving the safety of the village behind. Their path was fraught with challenges, from treacherous mountain passes to dense forests filled with unknown dangers. But their love and unwavering commitment to each other kept them going, even in the face of adversity. As they traveled, Aadhira and Athavan encountered various people, some of whom became allies in their quest. They shared their story and the prophecy with those they met, rallying support and gathering valuable information about the hidden treasure. Each new ally strengthened their resolve and brought them closer to their goal. One night, as they camped under the stars, Aadhira turned to Athavan with a smile. "We've come so far, Athavan. No matter what happens, I'm grateful to have you by my side." Athavan took her hand in his eyes filled with love. "Our journey has only just begun, Aadhira. Together, we can overcome any obstacle and fulfill our destiny." Their journey to freedom was not without its trials, but Aadhira and Athavan's love proved to be their greatest strength. As they continued their quest for the hidden treasure, they knew that their bond would guide them through the darkest of times and lead them to the brighter future they both dreamed of. And so, under the vast expanse of the night sky, Aadhira and Athavan's journey continued, driven by their unwavering love and determination to bring peace to their kingdoms. Chapter 9. The final stand. Aadhira and Athavan's journey had brought them to the edge of their destinies. After facing countless dangers and forging new alliances, they finally arrived at the location indicated by the ancient scroll. It was a hidden valley, shrouded in mist and surrounded by towering cliffs. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and the distant sound of a waterfall. As they approached the heart of the valley, they encountered a small temple, its walls adorned with intricate carvings that depicted the prophecy they had come to fulfill. A sense of awe and anticipation filled their hearts as they realized they were standing on the threshold of history. Inside the temple, they found an ancient altar, upon which rested a chest of exquisite craftsmanship. Aadhira's hands trembled as she opened the chest, revealing the hidden treasure, a set of gleaming golden artifacts, each imbued with a powerful aura. "This is it, Athavan," Aadhira whispered, her voice filled with wonder. "The treasure that will unite our kingdoms." Athavan's eyes shone with determination. "We must take these artifacts back to the Chola Empire and present them to the rulers. They will see the truth of the prophecy and understand the importance of our union." As they prepared to leave the temple, a group of armed men emerged from the shadows, led by a figure cloaked in darkness. It was their betrayer, one of the palace nobles who sought to use the treasure for his own gain. "You will not leave this place alive," the noble sneered, his eyes filled with malice. "The treasure belongs to me, and I will use it to seize power." A fierce battle ensued, with Aadhira and Athavan fighting side by side, their love and determination giving them the strength to face their enemies. Despite being outnumbered, they fought valiantly, driven by the knowledge that their mission was greater than themselves. In the midst of the chaos, Aadhira's brother, Kumar, arrived with a group of loyal soldiers. "We will not let you fall," Kumar shouted, joining the fray. "Our destiny lies with you, Aadhira and Athavan." With the reinforcements, the tide of the battle turned in their favor. Aadhira and Athavan confronted the noble, their resolve unwavering. "Your greed and ambition have no place in our future," Athavan declared, his voice ringing with authority. "The prophecy will be fulfilled, and peace will come to our lands." Defeated and humiliated, the noble fled, leaving Aadhira and Athavan victorious. As the battle came to an end, they knew that their journey was not over. They still had to present the treasure to the rulers and fulfill the prophecy that would unite their kingdoms. Returning to the Chola Empire, Aadhira and Athavan were greeted with awe and respect. The rulers listened to their tale and examined the golden artifacts, recognizing the truth of the prophecy. With the support of their people, the union between the kingdoms was celebrated, marking the beginning of a new era of peace and prosperity. As Aadhira and Athavan stood together under the moonlit banyan tree, they knew that their love had been the guiding force behind their journey. They had faced countless challenges, but their bond had only grown stronger, forging a path to a brighter future. And so, their love story became legend, a tale of courage, determination, and the enduring power of love. Chapter 10, Under the Moonlit Banyan. The air was filled with the sounds of celebration as the union of the two kingdoms was officially recognized. Aadhira and Athavan stood side by side, their hearts swelling with pride and joy. The prophecy had been fulfilled, and their love had brought about a new era of peace and prosperity. As the festivities continued, Aadhira and Athavan stole away to their beloved banyan tree, seeking a moment of solitude amidst the revelry. The moon cast its gentle light over the garden, bathing the tree in a silvery glow. It was a scene that had witnessed their first encounter, their shared secrets, and the blossoming of their love. Aadhira leaned against the tree, her eyes sparkling with happiness. "We did it, Athavan," she whispered, her voice filled with wonder. "Our love has changed the course of history." Athavan took her hand in his gaze tender. "Our journey was not easy, but it was worth every challenge," he replied. "We have forged a bond that will endure for generations to come." As they stood together, their hearts intertwined, they reflected on the trials they had faced and the victories they had achieved. Their love had been tested by betrayal, danger, and uncertainty, but it had emerged stronger and more resilient. "Aadhira, I promise to stand by your side, no matter what the future holds," Athavan said, his voice filled with unwavering determination. "Together, we will continue to build a brighter future for our people." Aadhira's eyes shone with tears of happiness as she nodded. "And I promise to always support you, Athavan. Our love is our greatest strength, and it will guide us through whatever challenges may come." As they embraced under the moonlit banyan tree, they knew that their love story was far from over. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, promise, and the enduring power of their bond. The moonlight bathed them in its gentle glow, a silent witness to their love and their shared destiny. Aadhira and Athavan's journey had brought them to this moment, and they knew that together, they could overcome any obstacle and create a future filled with love and peace. And so, under the moonlit banyan tree, their love continued to flourish, a beacon of hope for generations to come.